April Matt Chapman. He's unreal. Last year in the minors, hit 30 bombs. This year, he's at 17 already, and we're halfway through the season. He's played one. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 450 Dead Center Baseball channel. Chris here with Daniel.
Hey, guys.
And it's looking like Matt Chapman's probably going to become one of, if not, besides Ohtani, the highest paid free agent on the market this year, considering he's like the only other good free agent besides Ohtani, and he's the only third baseman on the market. So he's going to get paid, and I don't think the Jays are going to pay him, sadly.
Yeah, I think as Jays fans, we have to start looking towards a future of Chapman not being at Toronto. I don't know why I started there, but
okay. That's okay.
Unfortunate to think about, you know?
Yeah, I love Matt Chapman. I call him Matty C. He hits bombs occasionally, and in the last couple weeks, he's actually been pretty good again. So we like that. But the Jays have quite a few prospects who could be, coming up next year to play third base. There's two of them in AAA right now. One in his first AAA game hit a bomb. So we like to see that.
I will. Before we talk about the prospects, though, Chris, I will note that there is a better shot of Chapman returning to the Jays now than at the start of the season. Because remember when he was hitting 400 for like a month?
Yeah, that was nuts. That he's fallen off a cliff, but then he's coming a little back. Yeah.
He's still going to get paid. He's still going to get paid probably at least $200 million, I would say.
Yeah, and at least. There's also one thing from Matt Chapman that's irreplaceable, and that is his defense. Unless you sign Nolan Arenado, then that's the next best thing. But other than that, kind of hard to find a defensive replacement for Matt Chapman. But what you can replace is the bat.
The bat, yeah, definitely. That defense is elite. But, in terms of bat, we have 2 or 3 prospects who could replace him, Chris.
Yeah, let's start with the lowest guy on the prospect board here. He's 5 in our system, but I think he's lower than Barger. This is Tucker Tolman. He's expected to be called up in 2026. He was drafted last year. He's a 19-year-old kid.
He's just a project. That's why. You know what I mean? He's 19. He's not going to make his debut probably till, I would say, 23, 24. You know what I mean?
24. It's saying 2026 here, so.
No. When he's 23 or 24.
Oh, yes, exactly.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
He's like a long-range prospect if the other two we mentioned in this video don't turn out well. Right now, he's in Dunedin, which is A-ball. I think that's just, I don't know if there's high or low A. I think that's low A. Or it's just high. A complex. High A? Okay. So he's hitting 222, which, meh. But he's got a 332 on base, which for a 222 average, it's actually pretty good. Yeah. He's got 5 bombs, which is meh. He's got 94 Ks and 42 walks. So you definitely want to see that improve a little bit. But he's also a shortstop, but a lot of people get drafted as a shortstop and then move to other positions. That's basically how the draft works. If you're a high school player, you're basically
you get drafted as an infielder and then
yeah, unless you're like a god tier outfielder, but that's very rare. So Tucker Tolman, he's a future, hopefully, maybe could be a trade piece considering his prospect stock is quite high right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we trade him at the deadline. But yeah, what do you think about him?
I think he's definitely a long shot to be the replacement for Chapman. Mm-hmm. I think he could possibly be there down the road, but I think, like you said, he'll probably be a trade piece. That's what I think is the most likely, especially now that we just drafted Arun Namala.
Oh, right? Arjun Namala, yes.
Arjun. Is it Arjun or
Arjun?
Arjun Namala there. I think Tolman's probably going to be a trade piece, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see the Jays go get a Matt Chapman replacement with him alone at the deadline.
Right, and sadly,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, unfortunately, there is no Oakland Athletics third baseman that we can just commit highway robbery and get anymore. But maybe by the time Tolman is really getting good, maybe we can trade him for a Oakland Athletics third baseman. But let's move on to the next guy.
I think these next two are more realistic, Chris. For
right,
next year, for sure.
Well, considering both their ETAs are 2023, they
and one of them could have made the. We were talking about the start of the season, he could have made the roster this year.
But Barger did get hurt. Barger got hurt.
Yeah. Let's start with Barger because he's probably the most predictable here to make it.
Yeah. Last year, unreal year in the minors. He had a 933 OPS, 26 bombs. He was arguably the best prospect in our system last year.
He jumped, I'm pretty sure, 10 or 15 prospect rankings.
Oh, it was unreal. I didn't have him on my board.
We always do our prospect video, and we never talked about him. And at the end of the season, we were like, oh my God, look at this guy.
Look at the numbers. Sure, he's 23, but hey, that means I mean, I don't care. He's more developed than other guys. This year, he had a really rough start to AAA, but in his last 10 games, he's been unreal, and it's boosted his stats up to hitting 243 with a 331 on base. Power, I believe, is still there. Yeah, he's got 3 bombs in 36 games, so you'd like to see that actually go up a little bit.
That's good considering he's missed a significant amount of time with an injury.
And we know there is power.
I don't remember what the injury was, but I just remember he had an injury.
Yeah, I know he had an injury.
I want to say it was a leg injury.
Yeah, but it was something like that. But Barger, defense is okay. He had a pretty good spring training. Maybe he'll be a September call-up this year, and possibly a trade piece as well. But I kind of want to see what he's got, because I think he's got really, really high potential.
Like I think if anyone out of the guys we're gonna name, I think Toman's the guy to get traded.
Right.
But I like the addition of Barger to a September call-up.
I like that as well.
I think especially like you said, you said he was hitting 243.
He is hitting 243, but then again,
which is good.
It started off way worse.
Yeah, at the start of the season, I think he hit lower than 100.
Yeah, in his last, let's see, he's played a couple games.
Do you have his last 10 by any chance?
I do, but it also includes his low A ball starts when he was yeah.
When he's rehabbing?
Yeah, when he was rehabbing. So you can't really take a lot out of that.
I mean, it's at least something, right? Like Barger, we already talked about it. His bat will definitely play at the MLB level. That is 100%. We saw it in spring training. I think he's going to be a legit bat in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, like we talked about before, that defense is below average for Barger at third.
Yeah, and what was his defense? His defense, he's got a 40, it's actually 65 arm, 50 field, so it's not terrible.
Oh, okay.
Arm strike's good. Yeah, so definitely third base profile, but let's move on to the number 1 guy here. It's Aurelvis Martinez. Terrible.
Bro, this
April.
guy is gonna hit tanks.
Bro had like a Brandon Belt level April, but since then, Buddy's been like April Matt Chapman. He's unreal. Yeah. Last year in the minors, hit 30 bombs. This year, he's at 17 already, and we're halfway through the season. He's played one. Hear me out. 1 AAA game. He's got a bomb, 2 RBIs. Guy's gross. He's unreal.
He had an insane debut for his AAA for sure.
Yeah.
The only thing that concerns me about Aurelvis, and it's been the story of his life throughout the minors, is his strikeouts to walks. I don't know what it is this year, but I know in the recent years it's been like a lot of Ks.
Hear me out.
Not a lot of walks.
Listen to this. So last year he had 140 Ks and 40 walks. That was in 118 games. This year he's got 60 Ks, 41 walks, already more than last year, in 70 games. So
wow,
he's improved his plate discipline drastically.
I'm just saying, he looked like originally I thought he was going to be like a Javi Baez kind of guy, you know, strike out or hit a bomb kind of thing. But now he looks more like I'm trying to think of a guy. Like a Trey Mancini, you know? Take your walk and hit a bomb every once in a while.
Yeah, that's a really good strikeout to walk ratio. So, like, just say you double the games. Well, actually, he's played around the same games as he's played, I mean, almost half the games he's played last year. Maybe just a little less. So, just say, for example, you double that. That's 120 Ks, which is still a lot. But then 80 walks, which is unreal amount of walks, considering he's averaged
obviously, the strikeouts are going to be high. That's just the way baseball is now.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like he has a career low strikeouts so far.
That is for sure. He's definitely
on pace for that.
On pace for lower, and he's on pace to break his home run record from last year, which was 30 in the minors.
And this is a guy that we were talking about, Chris, that was drafted as a shortstop, and he's been looking like a third baseman recently.
Yeah, he's got an above average arm. His power and arm are actually the same grade. They're a 60 grade, which is unreal. Yeah. That is crazy. Fielding is a 45 out of 80, which is meh, but you can work on that.
Yeah, that's why he's not a shortstop anymore.
Yeah.
I could also see him being a second baseman, Chris.
I can too. I want his bat in the batting lineup.
That's what I mean. That bat's got to be. And we were talking about September call-ups. Do you think Aurelvis might make a run for the September call-up?
It's possible, and I hate to say it, but the Jays called him up right now, right before the trade deadline to AAA. They could be looking to trade him.
Yeah, that's another piece too. I think the Jays are going to have a huge deadline coming up.
Ross Atkins said he would do anything to get trades or something like that. So I
He kind of said he's going all out almost.
Yeah, I don't want Relvis to get traded, but it is possible. But we'll see.
You know what? If they do a Relvis for Nolan Arenado, Chris, are you really going to be mad at that?
Oh, like, I take that in a heartbeat.
Like if they trade a Relvis, Barger, Toman, and Chapman for Arenado, like, are you really going to be mad? No.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be getting fleeced, but yeah, yes, I would do it. I don't think you need more.
We're not going to be mad, but yeah, like,
yeah,
it is all hands on deck right now for the Jays. They got to make at least a push to something soon, because you don't know how long Bo and Vladdy are going to be here, right, without their contracts. So it is almost put up or shut up. I like the idea of Relvis coming up next year. I like the idea of Barger coming up next year. I like the idea of Toman in the future. But at the end of the day, if all of them are trade options to get someone to replace Chapman, I don't see anything wrong with it.
No, exactly. And we're gonna wrap it up here. Let us know what you guys think. Who is the Chapman replacement? Is it going to be a free agent? Doubt it. Will it be internally? Probably. With that being said, see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.